In today's video, we're going to be discussing talent points. What exactly are they? How do you get them? And once you've got them, what do you actually do with them? What's the best things that you can do with them? We're going to discuss that and more in today's video. Let's go and have a look. Hey guys, Pokemon here, bringing you another Learning Corner video. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing talent points specifically. What they do for you, what should you be looking at, what are the special abilities that you really want to concentrate on, and things like that. So we're going to look at that, and we're going to see what I've got currently set up as well, so that you can see for yourself. And we'll take it from there. So first things first, let's go switch over to the main game itself. Right, so to see your talent points, you're going to come click on your avatar in the top corner, and at the bottom here, it says talent points. Mine says talent points 0 because I haven't got any that I haven't spent at the moment. As you get them, they'll appear there. You click on this button, and then you can go into talents, and you can actually set up your talents. Within talents, there's 3 different categories: war, economy, and balance. And we're going to have a quick look through each of those, and I'm going to show you which are the important things to be looking out for, so that you know how to plan it and move around. The first thing I want to mention, though, right up front, is this at the bottom over here. You can see the number 1 and the number 2. This is basically the same thing as here on the side when you set your equipment. If you select the other one, it immediately switches over to your other set of equipment. Okay, same thing in talent points. The difference being you can only get to do this once you are VIP 12. So it is highly recommended that you get to VIP 12 because this is going to help you out a hell of a lot in your own game. I can switch between my war setup and my economy setup at the click of a button. So if I am going to KVK, for example, or Kingdom Raid or something like that, I will be switching into war mode and I'm ready to fight. It's going to increase my stats and that sort of thing. And when I'm not doing that and I am sitting in my kingdom and I need to gather resources and that sort of thing, I will switch over to economy mode. And this is going to allow me to gain the most resources that I can during that period of time. So you really want to try and get to that VIP 12 for further benefits, but also especially to switch your talents at the click of a button. Otherwise, you have to reset your talent each time, and each time is going to cost you either one of these reset points, or it's going to cost you 1,000 gold, which can be a lot of money at the end of the day, a lot of gold, especially for free-to-play players and that. So let's quickly go and have a look at the 3 different categories and see what is it that they actually have inside them. So starting off with the first category, war. Exactly what it sounds like. This is all about battle and combat. And in here, you're going to see things like infantry attack, infantry defense, infantry health, march speed, and special talents and abilities. These special talents and abilities are always surrounded by this dragon that you can see here. This little dragon icon that surrounds the circle. Those are all special abilities that you can activate and utilize at different times. And we're going to go through that very, very briefly. Right. So in a nutshell, it's exactly what it looks like. Infantry attack, if you go and boost this up, each one of these levels is going to increase your infantry attack. Infantry defense, health. March speed. This is the actual speed at which your troops march, whether it's going to a monster, to a castle, whatever the case might be. The increased speed is what this is going to do here. And then you got your emergency recall, which is your first special power under war. What this does is this allows you, it orders all marching troops to return to your city within 3 seconds. Does not include troops participating in rallies, 8-hour cooldown. Now, so what that means is, let's say, for example, you're out there farming and you see somebody teleport next to you and they're going to attack. You can use emergency recall to call back, and 3 seconds is all it takes to get all your troops back into your castle, and you are ready to defend. You got your dragon back, you got your highest number of troops back, and things like that. Emergency recall is something that very, very handy. Even when you're not in combat, it comes in handy with other things. Like, for example, if you go to economy and you go down, we will go into this further, but instant gather, what it does is it says that immediately causes all troops who are currently gathering resources to have their load capacity filled immediately. Applies only to food, wood, iron, and silver. Gathering excludes alliance resource buildings 24-hour cooldown. So you send off 5 marchers. They're busy. They've gone to go farm. As they hit the farms and they're all there ready to go, you can use instant gather, which will cause them to immediately finish farming those tiles completely. And then you can use, if you need to, if you're in a situation where your kingdom's at peace all the time, use your emergency recall, and all those troops are back within 3 seconds, and you can send them out again immediately. So that comes in very handy if you are pushed for time and you want to quickly get some extra resources and things like that. So emergency recall, absolutely fantastic. All the siege stuff, don't even worry about it. Siege is not powerful enough in this game to really do anything for you. If you're still using a rainbow march for your golem, you're going to utilize siege, but even these are not going to give you that much of an edge. So you can completely ignore that. Focus on infantry, cavalry, and bowmen, and especially things like bowman attack, infantry defense, and health. Because that's your keys. Your infantry is your meat wall, and your bowmen are the guys that's going to do the most damage for you. So bowman attack, infantry defense, infantry health are the 3 most important that you can work on. But you want to effectively get as many of these cavalry, infantry, and bowmen filled up as much as possible. March capacity, very important. One of the biggest changes that you can that helps you to do the most damage in this game is your march capacity. The more troops you can send, obviously, the more damage you're going to do. Then we get some more infantry and cavalry stats, attack, defense, health. Colossal march, very important. This is going to increase your march by 10% for a 30-minute period. So if you're doing golem and things like that, absolutely fantastic. Again, we got march speed here, down here. Siege, ignore siege. Back to bowman. Again, march capacity, very important. Then infantry stuff again. Wounded conversion increases the number of troops wounded instead of killed. This is passive, which means it's always there. So once you max this out, you always have that increase, which is really good, especially if you do a lot of PvP sort of things, because you want to maximize the number of troops that survive from combat. Get your hospital to the highest level it can be, and make sure your wounded conversion is on. Right, then cavalry stats, march increase again. Bowman stats, march increase again. Life preserver. Life preserver is very good. It converts 30% of killed troops into wounded until your hospitals are full. Lasts for 30 minutes, 24-hour cooldown. So let's say you got a hospital capacity of 400,000. Okay. And you do an attack, and this is not activated, and you lose troops. You're going to have wounded, and you're going to have dead. Those that are dead, if you activate this before you do the attack, 30% of those that are outright dead would actually convert into wounded, and you will have more in your hospital. Once you reach the maximum amount in your hospital, obviously you cannot convert any further beyond that to wounded, so the rest will just still die anyway. Again, siege, unfortunately, to get further, you have to select at least 2, so it doesn't matter which 2 you select. But then you got these 3 here. These 3 are extremely important. All troops attack, which means your cavalry, infantry, bowman, siege. All troops defense, all troops health. Really good. You definitely want to get to this point, especially if you're going to do a lot of PvP, PvE. You want to have these up. So that's what you're looking at in war. If we go to economy, economy is all about your construction, your research, your farming, basically. So it's the ongoing economy in the game. It's other than gold, it's pretty much everything else. It's what costs you to do anything, and it costs you food, for example, to make troops. It costs you food, for example, to do research and do construction. So that's what this is all about. This is all about that ongoing costs that's utilized within your castles. So if we look over here, we can see construction. Construction is this is your construction speed gets increased. Food production, wood production, research. Okay, so now you got 2 different types of food, wood, iron, silver categories. One is production, one is gathering. Production means what's made inside your stronghold. So if you go into your stronghold over here, these items over here, your farm, your sawmill, and that sort of thing, This, what I'm clicking on now, this is production as opposed to gathering. Gathering is when you are out there, you've sent troops to a tile to go and actually gather food, wood, iron, silver, etc. So, which is more important, production or gathering? In my opinion, production, because that is constant. If you cannot log into the game, for example, for 7 hours, you're going to send off your marchers to go and farm some tiles, but they will be long time back before you are finished and back in the game. Whereas your food production will still keep going. So you'll send out those troops, they'll come back after 4 hours, and then there's 3 hours of wasted time where they don't do anything until you log back in. Production will continue until it reaches the maximum that your level allows you to actually hold. So production, very important, more important than gathering. Gathering is still important, but not as important as production. Again, like with war, you get special abilities which have got the dragon around it. So let's just switch over to my economy mode so we can see this side. So as you can see, my productions are maxed out. All your speed ups get those maxed out as well. Construction and research, it's going to help you at the end of the day. Instant yield, right? This is instantly harvest 5 hours of resources, productions from all your resource buildings, 12-hour cooldown. That means inside your castle. Again, production, what gets made inside the castle. So it's going to give you, just by clicking that button, it's going to give you 5 hours worth of whatever you would have produced in a 5 hour period. Now, when you utilize instant yield, I highly recommend that what you do before you click on it is you switch over to your farming gear, whatever gear it is that you are going to utilize for farming. So, for example, if we come over here and we go, let's see, where is it? Have I got it? There we go. So here we go. That's okay. Now that's gathering. There we go. So this one, for example, the bow of Tristane. Wood production, iron production, silver production, food production. Very, very important to have. Another one is the ring of production, which is wood production, iron production, silver production, food production. So make sure these are both equipped. And then what you do is you go to your heroes and you make sure that you have got your hero equipped. This one here in particular, which is going to be Sir Gareth, which is going to also do iron production, food production, silver production. And what happens is you have those guys equipped. Now listen carefully. Once you've done that, click on the button to go to the world map. Do any search. It doesn't matter what it is. You're not actually going to utilize it, just as long as you can find something. There we go. I've done a search. I go back. Once I've done that, then I go skills and I select this button over here. So let's quickly change my equipment. Wrong one. Sorry. Let's go there. Go all. I want the bow of Tristane and I want the ring of production. Put those on. Close that. Skills. Now remember, you want to go out here. Once you're ready, search. Doesn't matter what you search for. The reason why you do this is because KOA servers sometimes take a while for them to register that something has happened. And if you just switch your equipment and claim your talent immediately, you're not going to necessarily always get the best results. So do this and you will get your best results almost every single time. And I click activate and there we go. I got 1.6 million food, for example, from utilizing that. Had I not put the correct equipment on or set up my talents to the economy talents, or had I not put the right hero in, my lowest I've received in this account at the level I'm at now was around 400,000. 1.2 million food difference between having that set up correctly. So just bear that in mind. So that's instant yield. Then again, we've got gathering next. Now, as I say, gathering not that important. So you'll see my wood gathering is not done. I'd rather moved on to concentrate on others. Production, gathering, construction. Our next special ability is development. Very good to have. Any construction and research tasks that you start within a period of 5 minutes will have their time reduced by 20%, 24-hour cooldown. So this reduces the time. So if you are in the festival event, for example, or a shop event, and you've got yourself the 50% discount, plus you got your war wheel, your war wolf outfit, for example, and you got all of that on, and you activate this ability, When you do a construction job, it will drop that timer down by 5% and make it a bit easier. That means that you're going to use less speed ups to actually finish off that job. And if you are looking at using less speed ups, this is definitely going to help you. You might want to utilize full speed ups because you're going to get more rewards for the more speed ups that you use in construction during the shop event. But you kind of also want to save at the end of the day so that you can do more upgrades. So this is going to help you. Moving along, we got more production and more gathering, research, production, gathering, etc., down to instant gather. Instant gather, very, very handy. As I was telling you just now, it causes you send your troops out, they on tiles, you hit instant gather, they immediately finish harvesting those tiles, and they come back to your castle. Very, very good to have, very good to utilize, especially when you've got things like the tree of life that they've got at the moment, where you got to gather 5 million resources in a day. This is going to help you get there a lot easier and a lot quicker. And again, production, research, production. The higher the level, iron production 3, for example, the better the results. So you've got to work your way to get there. But yeah, this is going to be what's going to allow you to run your castle during the off periods where you're not out there fighting, sort of thing. Then the last category is balance. Now, balance basically means everything else. Okay, so it's not what runs the castle per se, what you need to have everything going and to or do all your purchasing, and it's not when you're fighting, but it's everything else in between. So it's your training, your stamina, it's hospitals, it's all that sort of stuff. Right. So we're gonna go through this one quickly. Monster Hunter increases your speed when hunting monsters specifically. Troop load, how much your troops can carry. So when you send off troops to go hit a tile, for example, for some silver, how much can they actually carry? Or when you attack somebody. When you attack somebody and you beat them, you get resources from that attack. You get more resources if your troop load is higher. So this is going to allow you to actually get more resources quicker. Monster stamina, this comes in very handy for things like dragon chest, especially. It reduces stamina consumption when attacking monsters by 20% for a period of 10 minutes, 24-hour cooldown. Now, just bear one thing in mind. If you activate this ability and you click on a barbarian camp, for example, it will show you that the stamina required is only 16 as opposed to 20. Whereas during Dragon Chest, it still shows you that you need 10. But once you click on it, it will actually only take 8. So it does work. It doesn't look like it works, but it does work. So this is going to help you for things like Dragon Chests. Um, it doesn't really help you with rallies because a rally minimum period is going to be like 5 minutes. So you only have this activated for a 10-minute period, which means 2 rallies. But you still can use it in rallies if you are very clever. If you've got enough active people on at the same time, for example, and you have you can set it up that all of you go rally at the same time. One rally point, one barbarian camp, for example, can be rallied by multiple people. They just got to choose different levels. So each of the 5 of you selects one of those levels, for example. You activate this beforehand, and what happens is you launch a rally, and then you join 4 other rallies, all within the space of 1 minute. That would normally cost you 100 stamina. In this particular case, it's going to be the reduction of 20%, and that means you're going to get after that to be able to do one more barbarian rally or monster or something like that. So monster stamina comes in handy. Training capacity and training speed, exactly what it sounds like, the amount of troops you can train at a time, and how long it takes to train those troops. Hospital capacity and healing speed. I do switch between these depending on what I'm doing. If I'm going to be participating in KBK or something like that, I make sure that I have my hospital capacity and healing speed maxed out as much as possible because it comes in handy. Storage protection. Basically, what happens is your troops constantly devour resources. You've got troop upkeep. Your storage production is there to prevent somebody from taking too many resources. You always have something left. And it's also there to stop your troops from eating everything, basically. This is going to increase that. Stamina recovery, very important in this game. How quickly you can recover stamina so you can hunt more monsters, hunt more barbarians. Trap attack, defense, health. Traps are not that good at the moment. I do recommend, though, that you keep building traps because it doesn't take away from crit defense, for example. It doesn't take away from anything. They're very, very cheap, and hopefully traps do get an update. If they get an update and you've got 400,000 traps, for example, you're already set. But if they get the update and you don't have those traps, you're going to be sitting there now trying to catch up to the people who have been building traps constantly. But otherwise, not a very important stat. Trap builder, same thing. Population surge reduces the amount of resources needed to train and heal troops by 25% for a period of 30 minutes. Really important, really fantastic for things like KVK, where you get the 300% buffs to your training. Use this on top of that, and you're going to spend less resources, and you're going to take less time to train all your troops and things like that. Very, very important. It's an extremely useful ability. Monster Hunter, again, the speed when hunting monsters, troop load, hospital capacity, training capacity, and as you can see, that's as far as I've gotten so far in balance. If I go beyond these here, we got wall defenses, trap health, things like that, storage protection to instant heal, free instant healing of 10% of all wounded troops in your city, 24-hour cooldown. So let's say, for example, you've been hit and you got troops in hospital. Those troops, let's say you got 200,000 of each of the T12 infantry, cavalry, bowmen. You click on this, you're going to get 20,000 infantry, cavalry, bowmen healed just like that. It's got a 24-hour cooldown. Comes in very, very handy if you've been hit hard and your hospital is full and it's going to cost a lot of resources. Every day you can heal those 10%. Obviously, it's going to not stay that same number because as you're healing it, your hospital gets less. So the 10% gets less. Okay, so but a fantastic ability to have if you can. And then all the way down right towards the end here, the only things really that important is going to be your stamina recovery and defenses. You like your wall defenses and that, which isn't as important, for example, as stamina recovery. But yeah, towards the back here where you really want to try and get to is instant heal. But otherwise, inside balance, your monster hunters, hospitals, training, healing, that sort of thing is very important. Right, so that is your economy. Now, if we look at mine, I've currently got 96 set to balance for my economy mode, which gives me all the way up to troop load and 9 hospital capacity. If I go to economy, I've almost maxed out everything. The only things I haven't really concentrated on, as I've said, is the gathering, because for me, once again, the production far more important than the gathering. And instead of utilizing my talent points on these that aren't going to be as effective, I would rather utilize it on things like this, where I have got constantly more benefit out of it. In terms of war, you'll see that I have got some things in balance, which is going to be like storage protection. So it's going to be monster hunter, troop load, that sort of thing. Troop load, especially because I want, when I attack somebody, to be able to bring back the most resources I can. Hospital capacity and healing speed. I'm one short here. I need to actually increase that. I don't know why that's there, but anyway. And everything else is pumped into the war mode except for the siege. As I say, siege does basically nothing for you. So my war section is completely filled in the way it should be, as much as I need. And my balance, I just need to actually take off this trap attack and put it onto healing speed. I don't know why it's actually there. But basically, my war mode and my economy mode. So that there is talents in a nutshell. Hopefully it makes it a little bit easier to understand for you. How do you get talents? Very simply, every time your lord itself levels up, my lord is currently level 63, and you can see here how much XP you need to get to the next level. Every time you level up your lord, you're going to get more talent points, and those talent points is how you assign them in the actual game. So let's just quickly go and have a look here. Maybe I can push myself over that lord level into level 64. Right, we'll just quickly click on all of these and let's go have a look. Did I get there? I got there. Right, so 64, the highest level you can get, as far as I'm aware, is 65. So I'm going to collect that, and this has now given me 9 talent points that I can now spend. So if I go here, as you can see, I am in economy mode. I can go and have a look, right? Where else do I want to go and put my 9 talent points? I'm going to dump the 9 here into the hospital capacity 2. And when I go to war mode, we can go back to, let's go back to that balance and quickly fill in that last healing speed that was missing there for some reason. And we're going to look at, let's dump the rest into the traps for now. Because we're going to try and get to some extra things like the monster hunters and extra troop loads and things like that as well. So my war mode is basically everything in war, and then stuff in balance, and then economy is trying to focus on everything in focus with the remaining into balance. And that's pretty much it. So your biggest way of gaining your talent points, every time you level up your lord, you're going to get talent points. And the best way to get those is to be hunting monsters, hunting barbarians, and doing golem. Golem is going to get you a lot of Lord XP according to how high you are in the ladder. The higher you go, the more XP you're going to get. You want to do Golem, even if you're not really that big into PvE. You're going to want to do Golem because you want to get your Lord level up as high as you can possibly get him so that you can maximize out on your talent points and you can get the best benefit out of this game that you can actually get. Right, so that's 10 points in a nutshell, guys. I hope you have learned something from this today. I hope it's helped you in one way or another. If you've got any questions, please drop them down below in the comments. I will make sure I get back to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, feel free to join the Discord server. Link is in the description, and send me a message over there, and we can help you out as well. If you like this video, guys, please hit the like button. It helps me out tremendously in YouTube's viewing algorithm. And then if you want to know more about KOA updates, golem marches, things like that, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon so that you can know whenever I go live or whenever I go and put out a new video for you guys. That's it for this video, guys. Until the next one, be good, be well, and be safe. Bye.